knock out a couple little formalities, get you guys rolling pretty quick. Like I said, I'm sure they told you my name inside. It's Brian. Easy to remember, Flying Brian. If you forget that, hey you's fine by me. I'm easy. I like to joke around and have a good time. You guys already seen that, so feel free to chime in anytime. Really quick, we'll knock these out and get you guys started to the fun stuff. Really quick, by a show of thumbs, did everybody receive the safety briefing while you're inside? Any questions? Everybody's good? Okay. Joseph, you got that orange handle on, or used to be orange over there. Just make sure not to accidentally bump it or pull. If I need to pull, then I'll put you to work on your holiday, man. I'll put you in for a great big raise, okay? So we'll try to skip all that, right? As we take off, I do need to turn the mics off on takeoff and then also approach back into the airport by FAA regulation. But during the flight, usually they're going to be turned on, so feel free to use those, talk to each other, ask questions. Just a quick heads up before we take off, a lot of voices in my head. I think they're real. They seem nice too, and I only listen to the good ones, so yeah. No, in all seriousness, there are a lot of voices in my head, but there's a lot of other helicopters flying around, and so I hear those guys the same time I'm talking to you. So for safety reasons, when I'm talking to them, I don't hear you, and then vice versa. When we're talking, I don't hear them. So if I miss a question, I don't answer it. Just give me a second. That means I just didn't hear it. Just ask me again as soon as I can. I'll get right back to you. And other than that, if you guys are excited, ready to go, we'll turn the mics off, start rolling. Sound good? All right. Give me just a minute. As soon as I get our clearance out of here, I'll give you a heads up before we take off.
Green and blue, see China right in front of you. See the canyons broken by cloud. See the tuna fleets clearing the sea out. See the bedroom fires at night. See the oil fields at first light. And see the bird with a leaf in her mouth. After the flood, all the colors came out. It was a beautiful day. Don't let it get away. Beautiful day. Touch me. Take me to that other.
All right, everybody, let's go fly. Everyone, still have the mics turned off for just a few more minutes, but as soon as the tower releases me legally, I can turn it on. Everybody doing okay? Everybody's good? Yeah? Still point out some stuff, I just can't turn them on until they let me go. Gonna have a beautiful pool coming up on the right hand side, belongs to the Marriott. That beach in front of it is Kalapaki Beach. It's a nice sand volleyball courts, nice restaurant right there. Lunch and dinner, and then usually a pretty good paddleboard wave right offshore. Josh, you got one of our lighthouses over here on your side. Only two on this island. That one you have to have a four-wheel drive to get out to, or really dislike your rental car. So I'll see them out there every once in a while. It's usually there for a couple of days until the tow truck comes to get it. So I would not advise going down that road.
I left my home.
And this harbor below us, this isn't a Willy Willy Harbor. This is pretty much the lifeline for us here in Kauai. You can see the cruise ship right there. That's the one that stays within the Hawaiian Islands that leaves this afternoon, heads back over to Oahu.
Gonna come my way, so I'm just...
Yeah, keeping me with the tower just a minute more. What about movie history? You guys like stuff like that? TV movie history? Yeah, some cool stuff through here. This river, it's called the Hula Ia River. Now everybody remembers Indiana Jones, right? It's So you remember the scene in Indiana Jones where he comes out of the jungle, jumps in the water, and when he swings out into the water and he swims out to the seaplane, takes off, had all the snakes come out? That was mostly filmed right up here on this part of the Hawaiian River.
Everything.
I remember seeing that when I was younger, thinking, that's pretty cool.
I can't do what 10 people tell.
Not the snakes. I don't care much about those, but no snakes in Hawaii, so as long as you're here, you're good with those.
Sitting here resting my bones in this long.
Just on the other side of this hill to our left, this is what will be called Kipukai. You want to look through this low gap, and you'll recognize this if you ever saw the movie The Descendants with George Clooney. This was a family piece of land in the movie.
I'm just gonna sit.
And so you get this same view in the movie when George Clooney and his two daughters were standing on this ridge overlooking the property right there. But the movie is loosely based on the family that owns all that. It's the Waterhouse family. And it looks like they may turn that over to Kauai in the near future with the one stipulation it never gets developed. So that's a cool thing, I think. And then this is the Rice family ranch below us. It is a working cattle ranch, but it has made its way into a couple of Jurassic Park movies as well. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, do have the mics turned on, so feel free to use those, talk to each other, ask questions. You can sing karaoke if you want to, whatever. Everybody's doing good? Yeah? You probably haven't seen one of our Hawaiian monk seals, am I right? Yeah, so they're pretty rare. Poipu is over here on the left, so I know you guys are a long way from Princeville, but if you guys happen to be in Poipu, there's a restaurant called Brenicki's. Make sure you go across the street from Brenicki's on that beach. A good chance you can see one of the monk seals there, and the reason I'm telling you is they're incredibly endangered. There's only 1,400 of those even exist in the world. We have 45 around Kauai, but recently we've had 2 coming up on the beach right there, sleeping just about every day. So they're nocturnal, they feed at night, sleep during the day. But if you guys are over that way, stop by as often as you can. They'll come up at sunrise, sleep on the beach just about all day. They're one of only 2 native mammals we have here. The other one's a little bat, so the little seals are way cuter than the bat, so we love them for that reason. But you want to see their face, the way their mouth shaped, looks like they're always smiling, so while they're sleeping on the beach, look like they're laying there having the sweetest dreams ever. So I love those guys. So if you get a chance to check those out. And to go to Poipu, you have to drive through tree tunnels. This is it right here. So you see that row of trees. Doesn't look like a lot when you fly over it, but when you drive through that, it's absolutely beautiful. You guys would appreciate that, I think. Get this little wind bump right here, so don't let that bother you.
Breaking free, 'cause I got a schoolboy heart.
Those trees are a type of eucalyptus tree. We call them a swamp mahogany. There's 146 different varieties of eucalyptus trees. These are eucalyptus, those are eucalyptus. These are planted to be harvested though. These are that's our second biggest crop on the island is eucalyptus. Number 1 is coffee. So we get into the mountains. We're going to get a few more wind bumps up through here, so don't let those surprise you. I promise I don't take any chances, guys. That's just the way the winds come over the mountains right here. Have you read about the family that owns 51,000 acres here? Robinsons? No. One family. So where we're at right now, as far as you can see, and even farther in front of us, all belongs to one family. So they own 51,000 acres here in Kauai. It's been in the family over 150 years, so it gets handed down, right, generation after generation. Set up with a trust fund to pay the property taxes, but they do lease out some of the land for agriculture, even movies, and then they have they raise some money with cattle and sheep production. The 2 brothers right now, Bruce and Keith Robinson. Those guys are my uncles. I wish. Yeah, that'd be nice, right? I'd be happy with 1 acre out here, much less 51,000. So this is where we're going to get some of those wind bumps. Don't let those surprise you, but I'll tell you a little more about this family here in a moment. Pretty good, pretty interesting family, but everybody's seen Jurassic Park, right? You guys have all seen those. So all of those have some of Kauai, especially the first one and the 4th one. And the weather's so good, I'm going to show you several places today you're going to recognize. But this first valley we're coming up to is called Hanapepe. You look across it down the valley, you follow it down to the ocean, you see Port Allen. Most of the boat trips come in and out of Port Allen. And just to the left of Port Allen, those dark green fields, Josh, those are the coffee fields. And it's the largest coffee plantation in the U.S. If you drink coffee, even if you don't, I don't, but I think it's an awesome tour. It's free. It's self-guided, take your time, and you get free coffee the whole time you're in there. So it's a pretty cool thing if you're on that side of the island. I would recommend it. And like I said, I don't even drink coffee. Be aware of the chocolate-covered coffee beans, man. I'd never seen those before. I'm just eating them by the handfuls, man. I forgot about the caffeine, man. I was all shaky for an hour after. There's some beautiful overlooks that you can look up into the valley up to about right here. As we come around this corner, I think this may look a little familiar to most of you guys. Look at the rainbow. And welcome to Jurassic Park. And the very first movie, remember the helicopter flies up the valley, lands at Jurassic Falls. So this is Jurassic Falls coming up in front of us. Pretty awesome, huh? The true name of that waterfall is Puna, but we're always going to know it as Jurassic Falls. Now, Josh, you got an extra waterfall right here. All these, I was telling you, are extra waterfalls, so these just came from that shower that's passing over right now. So most of our waterfalls come and go with rain. They only last them only 30 minutes. Others 2-3 hours. These usually last about 2 or 3. I'll bring Jurassic on both sides, make sure everybody gets a good view, but if you guys spot any velociraptors, you got to give me a heads up, right? They're pretty pesky here in Kauai. The rainbow. How about it, guys? Any velociraptors? They're all clear? Yeah. Clear low. Never get tired of that. But take a moment and look around back here. One of the real blessings for this island is you do not see anything at all develop back here, and that's everything you see belongs to the Robinsons. And to have had this for over 150 years and yet not develop any of this, that's pretty amazing, I think. There is a big drive to try to keep this island from being overdeveloped, to keep it as natural as possible. I personally hope it happens. I think it's a very special place the way it is. So. There's about 78,000 local residents live here in Kauai at the moment. We all live on 5% of the island. That includes where you guys are at, so hotels and resorts, rental houses. And so everybody lives on 5% of the island. That leaves 95% of Kauai still wide open, so that's pretty special. It really puts Kauai at a pretty unique position. Has ever seen a full circle rainbow? All the way underneath you right here. It may get some pretty good wind bumps here, so I don't want to take you the wrong direction and shake you up. But so every rainbow makes a full circle, just pretty rare to see, even for me. That's so cool. About hiking, you guys want to do some hikes or like hiking? Yeah, hiking by helicopter. Yeah. Right, yeah. Snorkeling's good.
I love hiking.
You like it? Okay. I'll still talk about a lot of the trails, and that way you guys can decide if you want. This we have to just hike it by helicopter, so unless you personally know the Robinsons, they don't really open it up and let us come back here. And it's not a mean thing, it's just a liability issue for the family. I get that. It cost them a fortune to keep this open. And so But plenty of places to explore. 70% of this island we can only see by flying over. Their property makes up 15% of the island. So I think it would probably shock you how many people live on this island their whole life and never see the biggest part of it. Even my history teacher lives here her whole life, teaches history about Kauai, and Hawaii's never seen it until 3 months ago. She did a flight with us. So this is Olakele Canyon, your full circle rainbow still tagging along. And the Robinsons own this too. Still part of theirs. Now what's hilarious about this, they're getting ready to film a new Fast and Furious movie here. It's a spin-off called Hobbs and Shaw about two of the characters. The top speed on this island is 50 miles an hour, so I think that's hilarious. They're going to do the whole movie, most of the movie here, but they're going to do a jet and a helicopter chase scene through this particular valley, so keep your eyes on. They're getting ready to film that pretty soon. So from here out to the coast, you see more sunshine, right? Behind us, more rain. That's pretty common. You notice there's not a lot of vegetation right through here. So from about here to the coast, on average, less than 30 inches of rain. Behind us, 8 miles away, one of the wettest places on Earth. So it's almost always raining on the North Shore, center of the island, almost always sunny out this way. So if you guys get a rainy day up in Princeville, go to seehawaiilive.com, pull up the webcams, look at the Poipu side. If it's sunny, cruise over. Don't trust your radar. It'll lie to you every time. So every day 70% chance of rain because it's always raining in the middle. So that island off the coast also belongs to the Robinsons. It's called Ni'au. And so it's 17 miles out. That was the first piece of property they ever purchased. The great-great-grandmother, Miss Elizabeth Sinclair, bought that island back in 1864 for $10,000. And that was about 20 pounds of gold back then. And then acquired the rest of the land here in Kauai. This little dirt road is their property line. So everything past it will be state-owned public land. But between the island and Ni'au and what they have here, about 92,000 acres altogether. But it's pretty cool. You'll still see the brothers down here in a rusty old pickup truck working on the fence. I think that's awesome. They want to keep it in the family, so they're trying to save every dollar possible to cover the inheritance tax. When they pass away, then they leave it all to the next family. I think that's really cool.
Can't you see, can't you see?
Alright guys and girls, welcome to the beautiful Grand Canyon of the South Pacific. This is Waimea Canyon. Have you driven over here? No? It's a long drive from where you're at. I want to make sure you see it all, but especially if you want a day, if you get a day, it's a cool place to come check out. I'll give you a little more tips here in a minute, but I'll make sure you see it all today as well. But there's never a bad angle to Kauai where you float around it, hike around it, or float around it here, fly around it. It's all good. There's a couple of things that stand out to me. I think you guys would appreciate as you come through this part of Kauai that I don't think you really see anywhere else in Hawaii. All of our islands come from the same source, right? So the same hot spot, and as it rotates, it creates shield volcanoes. Shield volcanoes build layers. They don't have a lot of explosive capability, but they do build layers. And Kauai's our oldest island. Big Island's the youngest. We're about 5.5, 6 million years old. Right now, the tallest point on this island is slightly over 5,200 feet. What's amazing to me, and it's so hard to even fathom, is this island was somewhere between 9,000 and 10,000 feet at one time. So we're about half that size now, right? And that's because of erosion. You see a lot of erosion back here, it's evident. But because of what you see back here, you can see these lines in the canyon wall. Each one of these lines represent a different layer of lava as the island of Kauai was being born after 5.5 million years of erosion, layer after layer washing away. It's given us a beautiful way to see this island and how they were born. Right up here on the right side first, and we'll bring it right back around for Josh. This is going to be a waterfall called Waipo'o Falls, 800 feet tall. So twice as tall as Jurassic Falls right here. If you drive over here, you're going to see this way off in the distance. I think it'd be a much closer view. for the hikers right above us. When you come around, you see a little bit better. There's probably some people standing up there waving at you. They just realized it was all downhill on the way in, all uphill on the way out. So that's called Canyon Trail. It's 1.8 miles long. It's one of my favorites. It takes about an hour to hour and a half to get down to the river right above the falls. Yeah, a couple hikers. You got to watch out for the T-Rexes over there, though. I came up here, I don't know, 2-3 months ago. First flight of the morning, you never see hikers up there, and then first thing in the morning I look over, I had one family on board. It was a mom and dad and 3 little boys. And the oldest boy is sitting in the back where Shanae is at, and he said, "Hey, I see a dinosaur." And of course I think he's just messing with his brothers. I look over there, sure enough somebody had hiked in there with one of those T-Rex dinosaur costumes, running back and forth on top of that ridge, jumping away. Kids went nuts, man. They just lost it. I would pay somebody to do that every day if I had a kid on board.
That's where I gotta take mine at. I brought one to the island with me.
I'm sorry, say again.
That's where I have to take mine at. I brought one to the island.
Hey, brought it with you. Dude, you gotta do it, man. I'm flying the next 2 days. You gotta do it. I'll get it on video. This is all Kauai State Park. And so if you need to catch a rainbow trout, that's one place in all of Hawaii to catch a rainbow trout. So it's they used to stock some of the rivers. Now it's they just keep it in those ponds. This is all Kauai State Park, so it surrounds Waimea Canyon. Between the two, there's about 91, 92, or 19 hiking trails out here. I was listening to that guy back there say 92. It's Blue 92 is his call sign. So this is 19 hiking trails, so plenty of places. If you guys come up here, make sure you come on a day where the clouds are pretty high, so a lot of times they'll cover up the road and you can't see down into it. Also, around Lahui, top off the gas tank. When you get to the base of the hill, top it off again. Don't wait till the last minute to fill it up because you're going to pay double for gas right there. But there's no gas stations up here, and your cell phones don't really work up here. So, and then bring a picnic and bring that dinosaur costume. I want to see you up here, man. That's the way to do it. I love that stuff. This is a popular hunting area. A lot of locals will hunt wild pigs. We have Spanish goats, and then we also have black-tailed deer, first brought in from Oregon back in 1961, about 1,000 on the island right here. All this equipment off to our left, and this is military airspace. I can't get any closer to that, really. There's one of those domes off to the right that you can't see right now, but if you drive up here, you get really close to it. This is part of Barking Sands Missile Range. It's a Navy base. And that is the first line of defense for the United States as far as tracking missiles coming into U.S. airspace. So, of course, last year with North Korea, very busy place. It has calmed down a lot, and I hope it stays that way. And so we'll see. This last ridge is an all-day hike. I don't know that I would suggest it. It's a very difficult hike, and it's a very not so safe hike as well, but it's called Nualolo. Man, your rainbows, you guys are definitely winning the Rainbow Award today, but it's called Nualolo. 11 miles one way, but it's got one of the most amazing views, but since you're hiking it by helicopter, you're going to get the same view, right? Sit right below you right now on the edge of the trail. Guys, welcome to the amazing Nepali coast. Truly one of the most beautiful places you'll probably ever see in your lifetime.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you.
I'm going to bring a couple of places along the right-hand side. We'll talk about those, and then we'll bring them right back around the left. I'm going to make several turns up and down the Nepali coast. So if anybody starts getting queasy, by all means, you guys speak up, let me know. I want you to see as much as you can, but I don't want to make anybody queasy. But this first beach, you can see an arch goes right through the middle of it. That's called Hanapu. It's the tallest sea arch in Hawaii. You guys like the movie stuff, so you may recognize that from 2 movies, Pirates of the Caribbean. Stranger Tides when Captain Jack Sparrow runs through that to find a Spanish ship. And then my favorite's the 1976 version King Kong when they first came ashore. That's where they were at, was right there.
The colors of the rainbow.
This next beach down is called Kalalau Beach. That's the very end of the famous Kalalau hiking trail, which has been closed since April. Probably going to be closed till next spring at least. So you should not see anybody on that beach. But right above it, every bit of those windswept ridges we call the famous cathedrals. Then the big valley past it is Kalalau Valley. So one of the reasons I want you to come up on a day where the clouds are really high, you can see that ridge in the back of Kalalau Valley. It's called Pahea, P-I-H-E-A. That is another place that's an incredible view up there. 2 overlooks, and then there's a trail that goes around the back side of that ridge if you want to hike it. But you don't have to, you get the same view. But a lot of times the clouds cover that up. Give it time. You can see how it breaks through right now. A lot of times when it breaks open, it's pretty magical. You want to see that if you can.
I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Ooh, yeah.
So Josh, Kalalau Beach right below us. Beautiful cathedrals, the Hanapu Arch, beach and valley. So there's actually only one way to get to this particular beach, and that's just to swim into it. You can take a boat out to it, but they have to dock offshore. It's illegal to even take a surfboard onto this beach. Reason being, the beach, the arch, and this valley is very sacred to the Hawaiians. It's open, so I want to take you guys back here. It's my favorite valley on the Nepali coast. Hanapu Valley is better known as Valley of the Gods here, and that is because all Hawaiian chiefs are buried in the cliffs of this valley. The chiefs were called Ali'i. There were different levels of Ali'i, but every Ali'i was thought to have a supernatural power that was really unique to him, and they believed that once the Ali'i passed away, the powers he had remained in his bones, and they thought if you found the bones, then the powers went to you, right? So that's why they would plant them and hide them in the cliffs along the way. They took it a step further. They would choose their greatest warrior. It was considered his highest honor. And the crazy part is this guy knew all about it, but he was lowered into the valley by vine. On the way down, it was his job to hide the bones, maybe a cave or a ledge. Once he did that, the warriors at the top cut the vine loose. Of course, he fell to his death, and that made sure of 2 things: that the powers never transferred to him, and that nobody ever knew exactly where the chief, the Ali'i, was buried at. So there is a lot of history back in this beautiful valley. Two ways to get to this beach. That's either kayak into it or hike into it. Kayaking just during the summertime. These waves, you don't want to be on that in a big boat. At least I don't. So summertime it's classy smooth out here most days, so not too big of a deal. Wintertime 20, 30 foot waves are pretty common. So most people will hike it. The trail runs along the cliffs, 11 miles long. It takes most people around a day and a half to hike that one way, so definitely not an easy trail. It's going to be closed for a while. It takes a permit. You have to apply for this permit 4 to 6 months in advance. You're getting another one. This is crazy. Good job. I don't know if you guys been living right or you've been living bad and you're making up for it now, right? That's pretty awesome.
Hard to not want to take pictures of everything.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how many you take. It takes some, but don't forget to enjoy it too. And you can see part of the trail right here on both sides of this waterfall right here. And you can see it on the left side, Josh, and then right here on the green. So this is one of the most beautiful trails in the United States, but it's also one of the most dangerous trails. You look down, this trail's 6-8 inches wide, 200 to 300 foot drop straight down into the ocean through here. No guardrails, nothing really to keep you from falling in. This is our wet side of the island, so you get a lot of rain over here. If you decide to hike, this red dirt, when it's dry, it's slippery. When it's wet, we call it Hawaiian ice, so just be aware of that. You can see it zigzag back and forth. I never really used the hiking staffs until I came here, and I just about always use them now. They make a big difference here. How about the movie South Pacific? Did anybody see that? You saw it? Yeah. So Shanae, if you look straight ahead, that last ridge with the tall point standing up, that's the island of Kauai Hawaii right there. The way they filmed that section of Kauai, that last ridge right there made it look like an island. So, will you sing the song for us? No? Come on, it's just family and friends, right? Make a big turn up here, on both sides. Did you see it, Josh? Yeah? You want to sing the song? No? I don't know. This was Bali High right here. So normally you can hike it from that last beach to this beach without a permit, but it's going to be closed until summer, I think. We'll see.
Is that because of all the floods?
Yeah, so back in April we had a historic flood. It set a world record. 24-hour period we had 52 inches of rain. So it would lasted much longer than one day. It was several days, but that particular period was 24 hours with 52 inches of rain. So it completely wiped out the road out here. So they've got it back open to one lane right now, but it's going to be a while before it opens up. This is where the road should normally end at. So this is K Beach, spelled K-E-E, and that's where the road should normally end. But don't be bummed, you can't see this whole island in 2 months, so that way when you quit your job and move out here, then you got a place to come check out, right? You haven't seen her. Make a left turn. I want to bring that around for Josh, give everybody another view of the Polly Coast. That's beautiful, man, the way the rain's coming in. It's Hanakapiai Beach right there, Josh. You can see the waterfall on the bottom. There's also Hanakapiai and then Bali High right to your left. KA Beach right here. And that's all Hyanna Town right through there, Josh, that's closed.
I bet they're suffering a little bit with the tourism.
Yeah, so a couple of things about this part of the island. This is the most expensive part of the island. So if you could find a tool shed down here for less than $1.5 million, I'd tell you to jump on it. It's going to be a great deal. So the people that live up here have money. Not saying that they don't need money. I'm just saying, it's my experience, the more you make, the more you spend, right? And so, however, the rental houses that are up here are not able to operate right now. So if you don't have a special decal, it's a lot they had to go through to prove that they live up here to be able to drive back and forth. So it's hindering their production of the road. And so I'm sure the people that own the homes that are for rental income, they're taking a big hit. I would have to imagine. I can't imagine. I don't know anybody personally, but this is Pierce Brosnan has a home up here. So you're looking at that caliber of, finance, money that's up here, but I'm sure they're taking a big hit. But as far as businesses, there's not a lot of businesses on this particular part of the island, so I'm going to go right around this. This is Princeville, where you guys are at up ahead, the white building, the St. Regis right there. I'm sure you guys staying in the presidential suite, the one that's $8,900 a night right now. So We're going to go right in between those, and that's one of the things I truly love about Blue Hawaiian is they're very adamant we never fly over a house or a community if at all possible. And so you guys come here for a quiet vacation. You don't want to hear these things all day long. So I get that. I love them, but I don't want to hear them on my days off. But the peninsula is Kilauea Lighthouse. If you haven't been there, guys, that's especially if you like birds. It's a bird sanctuary. $5 to get down to the lighthouse. There's a free overlook above it. It'll be closed on Sunday, half day on Monday. And then, of course, Honolulu Bay just to the right of Princeville. One of National Geographic's 10 most beautiful beaches in the world. I personally think it lives up to that. I think it's a beautiful place to spend time. Usually right next to the pier. You always double check with your lifeguard, but that's usually the best place to learn to surf, right through there. And you're talking about snorkeling. Anini Beach, which is right around the corner, if this swell calms down, it's usually a perfect place to snorkel. It's we've got some bad riptides right now, so you got to pay attention to that. But Anini is my favorite place to snorkel. So.
Let's do.
You guys been there? Yeah. Now, for the ones that saw South Pacific, this beach we're coming over the top of, this is Lumahai Beach, but in the movie this was Nurse's Beach. This is where she washed him out of her hair. And if you didn't see that, I know that sounds really weird, right? Hey, remember the shampoo commercial, though? I'm going to wash that guy right out of my hair. If you remember that, that was a spin-off from the movie, so this is where it actually happened now. So straight down all the flooding, this is normal taro fields. You can see this is the wet side of the island. So if it's not a green, if you see this fresh dirt, that's the landslides that just happened back in April. So a lot of those happen back here. But you can see how much more lush and green this side is. So you guys are going to get passing showers. They come over and then they move on and stuff.
The sun is shining, so I'm on my way trying to find something new.
So the taro grows like rice. You just keep it flooded, right? And so it's a food source. The root is mashed up. It becomes poi. And then the green leaf is edible once it's cooked. It tastes a lot like cooked spinach. Usually used in lau lau pork. Have you tried poi?
Unfortunately.
Remind you of Elmer's glue when you're 5, yeah? So that's it. You know, so a couple of things. I tease about the poi, but honestly, if you grow up with it, you love it. If you don't grow up with it, you don't love it. It's that simple. And so it is what it is. The plant is much more than just a food source. You guys, I think, would appreciate knowing. Take the time to read 2 stories. One about the Polynesians, how they first discovered that plant. It's absolutely beautiful. And then the second one is what it means to them. Each part of that plant actually represents part of the family. You guys seem pretty tight-knit family. So read that story. It'll give you a much better appreciation how that plant connects the family to the land. And it's kind of a cool thing. I think you guys, it takes 15 minutes, but I think you guys would like that. Have you seen the geese down here along the, yeah, so those are nene geese. They're like the monk seal. They're incredibly endangered. There's only 2,500 of those exist in the world, but down through here there's a ton of them. The biggest, the whole time I lived on the Big Island, never saw one. You come here and they're all over. Yeah. And then as you go into Princeville, you go around the big fountain right there in the beginning, between the first and second speed bump. Look to the trees on the left. Look at the bark on those trees. Some of those are rainbow eucalyptus. They're absolutely beautiful. Check those out. You know, most people drive past them, don't ever notice them, but check those out if you get a chance.
Cause I'm in that deep water and I gotta get away. Cause you know
this is Honolulu Valley.
searching out.
Honolulu Valley is a conservation area. No roads, no hiking trails through this valley. This is really the only way to see it. And it gets a lot of rain, so it's me personally. It's probably my favorite, just because it's so lush and green.
For my getaway to my higher place.
Everybody having fun? Oh, yeah. Good, I don't have to meet you then.
Only
Only slightly queasy.
You doing all right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Take one of the, if you're feeling a little bit queasy, there's a little scent pack inside the white bags. Just break that open, smell that. It really makes a big difference. So, got a beautiful waterfall here on the left. This is Pacoa Falls. Gonna be some up here on the right as well. Jurassic World, the 4th movie. This is where almost all the aerial videography was filmed at. So anytime you go back and watch Jurassic World, you want to look in the background. When you see the helicopter, you'll see a lot of this valley.
Like you never did before.
Some nice waterfalls right up here.
So you did so.
And hey, don't forget to look at the helicopter when you watch that movie too. You're going to recognize it as soon as you see it. Same color paint scheme as one of ours. So they just take our name off the top of it. Fortunately, the accident was videography, so we still fly that helicopter. So it's down on the Big Island. At least it was a month and a half ago. That's where it was at. So you'll recognize it as soon as you see it.
And don't say no.
I'm still 5-year-old, so my mother bought me the Lego set for Jurassic World because it has my helicopter and Legos, right? So, one of my favorite things, because she gave it to me, but it's also just a cool thing.
And don't be no tracks. You light me up yourself, cause reggae is another bed. What you got? That I don't know. I'm trying to wonder why you act so. Yeah. Hey, did you hear what the man said? Light me up your woman in the morning time, y'all.
Looks like on the other side of this ridge now we'll go back the other way.
Come on, baby.
That's one thing I don't take any chances. I came out here 3.5 years ago on vacation, just like you guys, man. I fell in love with the island while I was here. I was hiking the whole time, and then at the end of it, one of the guys recommended I should do a flight. I kept hearing that from other people. And I ended up taking the flight, man. I fell in love with this island while I was here, and then I just after the flight, I was like, I was flying helicopters back in Tennessee, where I'm originally from, and so I applied for this job thinking, hey, I'll never hear from those guys, but I thought, heck, if I do, it's kind of meant to be, right? 6 months later, I heard from them. So it kind of shocked me. I never expected that at all. And helicopter over there. I want to make sure we know where he's at. But anyway, applied for got the call 6 months later. They offered me a job. I kind of promised myself I'd take it, right? And so after, before I came out here, I've been flying since 2000. This was kind of my little boy dream when I was a little kid, and so never thought about making a living. I had my private, my commercial license, and just did tours over the Smoky Mountains, and then just did it on weekends. Before I came out here, I was your UPS driver. That's what I did for a living for 27 years, 4 months, 3 days. So scariest thing I've ever done in my life was quit that job, move halfway around the world, try to live out some little boy dream. So, but zero regrets, man. It was spooky, changing careers that late in life, but in the hindsight, it was absolutely, I love this place for sure. Yeah, I want to try to see if we can see this section back through here. It's not a place that I'm always able to show very often, but if I can, I want to.
Get what you got in the bag.
This is our volcano crater, so it's always raining back here. We get 450 inches of rain back here on average every year, so I maybe get back here 35% of the time.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, I think we're going to be all right. So this is called Mount Waialeale. You're coming into the crater now. I want to see, yeah, I can see the waterfalls. Yeah, I can see the waterfalls in the very back in the caldera, so I'm going to take you guys all the way to the back, guys. This is an incredibly special place, not just here in Kauai, but all throughout Hawaii. This is, I'll explain why when we come out, but guys, welcome to the birthplace of Kauai, where it all began, Mount Waialeale, our volcano crater. What'd you guys think about the crater? Are we new best friends now? Yeah. I didn't have a lot of faith you guys were going to be able to see that, but I thought after all the rainbows, there was a good chance maybe. So, a couple of things. You can see the crater wall on the left, crater wall on the right. You can see right here where it blew away millions of years ago. And so once it did, all the lava began to flow in front of us. And as we get a little closer, you're going to see how it formed the plains of Kauai. So you can see how that formed. But really happy you guys were able to get back there. It's a special place and a rare place to see. Right over here, best angle you can get on the whole island. You see that small mountain range. It's called the No-No mountain range. It's way better known though as Sleeping Giant. So you look right in the middle of it, the high point, that's the giant's head. Speeds over to the left. So that's in Kapa'a. When you get stuck in traffic, that's where you go. And just so you know, as long as you don't advertise it, there is a bypass that goes around behind all that traffic. So it's a 2-lane road, so it's not what a bypass, what you normally look at. But if you reset your GPS on your phone and just tell it to do the bypass, it'll usually go through some of this farmland, and it'll bring you out on the north side of that. Save you a little bit of time unless you want to go through Kapa'a. So. And it's not the best angle, but you can see where it is, and if you haven't seen it yet, you guys got to drive past it. I want you to know where it is. See that mountain range closest to the ocean, the second peak back from the ocean, the one that's real pointy? That's King Kong's profile. Google a restaurant called Ono Char Burger. Go a mile and a half past that when you go back home, and then look at that from that angle. It looks just like King Kong from right there. Alright guys and girls, starting to come back into controlled airspace, which means I need to turn the microphones off on the last couple of minutes, but has everybody had a good time? Enjoyed it? Yeah?
Great.
Beautiful place, huh? As soon as we get down, we'll turn the mics back on. But guys, I really want to say to you guys, real quick, a personal thing, just mahalo. Thank you guys for coming in and flying. You put a lot of trust in somebody you never met before to fly you guys around the island, so it truly means a lot to me. And you guys were a lot of fun, and I always appreciate that too, so mahalo, thank you guys. This is, of course, my home, and I love this island dearly, so I hope you had a chance to really learn to maybe you'll fall in love with this island a little bit today. It's a cool place. So. On the business side of things, if you ever find yourself in Maui, Oahu, Waikoloa, Hilo on the Big Island, keep us in mind. We do have flights there. Of course, check out your video when you get inside. Everything's recorded, so I'll give you a preview to that. Let you check it out. And then once we land, I'm going to turn the mics on, so I'm always happy to answer any question if you had any. But please allow the staff to open and close the doors for you guys. If you don't mind, they'll take care of those. And then when you get out, always go directly to the front. There's a blue box painted on the ground kind of right behind the numbers. If you don't mind, wait on each other inside that, and that way you're not underneath these rotor blades any longer than you have to be. But definitely have your camera ready, your phone ready. Got an awesome crew in Kauai. They're always happy to take a picture of you guys in front of the helicopter. Don't forget you got to throw up the shotgun, right? Yeah, you got to get those in.
Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Here come bad news, talking this and that. Give me all you got and don't hold it back.
If you have a chance when you're inside, let me know what you thought about your flight too. We have the computers in places to leave comments and reviews. I always want to hear back from you. You guys heard my story how I ended up out here, so I save every single one of those. Those are for me personally. Whether I screenshot them or box them up, those go to me. And so I'm sure I won't be able to do this forever. So as long as I can, I want to do it. And but I save all those. I'm sure there's a point in my life that I'm gonna be an old man sitting on a park bench. I got to pull out the proof, right? So they don't think I'm telling lies. So if you have a moment, I'd love to hear back from you guys for sure.
If you feel like that's what you want to do, hey, bring me down, can't none bring me down. Your love is too high to bring me down, can't none bring me down. I said, bring me down, can't none bring me down. Your love is too high to bring me down, can't none bring me down. I said, clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Clap along if you
River on the north side of the garden now. It's hot, but it's beautiful, you see. Take a walk along the beach, go down the road to Wanini, a place you know you'll never wanna leave.
All right, everyone, mics are back on. You had a good time? Enjoyed it? Yeah.
Great time. Thank you so much.
That's mahalo. What's the big plans for the rest of the day?